Okay, so I have been debating greatly, as some of y'all know, for so I have been debating greatly, as some of y'all know, for weeks now, openly, on hold on. Okay, so, and I debated tonight on whether to even do this, because, I do not want anything taking away from summer tomorrow. And I'm afraid this will. And it's not something I want. But I feel like my hand's being pushed. I have for several days. Honestly, since last week. For a while now, quite frankly. And I think things are escalating and pushing forward at such a rate that this cannot be avoided at this point. And that's fucking unfortunate. I also feel like some of it's being done on purpose. Well, what isn't at this point, right? Right? And some people took that bait and wanted to do the pitting thing, and I promise you that's not the reason that I am doing this. It's not tit for tat or, oh, I'm mad now, because honestly, I could give a shit less. And I'm trying to watch my mouth. But, and as this goes along, you may see me have to turn off and do things, because I don't want this around my little ones. But I'm also testing out the new ride, so I may have to turn off and on as I go. Sorry. Watching traffic. So anyway, the video, the vague one that I did the other day, I know it was heard by the parties it was intended to be heard by. And apparently that's not gotten through to anybody. And I feel, since then, the more I've thought it through before coming on here all hot-headed and pissed, that, and reactionary, that, it's pertinent that I speak out. To some finally, but for me, it's been months and months. You know, it's been a half a year of this. And what was said the other night bothers me greatly. And like I said on that video the other night, bothers me to such an extent that other pieces and parts of this puzzle that I've been trying to put together in my own head for months. The doubt that one phone call alone put in my head. Video chat. So I was able to see people's facial expressions and fake tears and slips and weird shit. Now, I don't know what people were thinking the other night, because I'm not Prayer Garden and I'm not all these other crazy people like Jenna and all them. Anybody who has watched any of this circus play out, this unfortunate circus that I never intended or wanted to be part of. I've never been Prayer Garden, Jenna, Squall, none of them. I've never gotten close to speak on. I've never spoke on anybody's business. I dropped off panels when people were talking garbage. Didn't give my opinion on anything. Because I try to hold things to myself. Certain things aren't for public consumption, and also parts of this that I'm still not going to name or talk about are parts of the investigation. And I'm not going to go onto those either, still, because they aren't the public's business, and they absolutely belong to the police. But the other night, after days of people being weird with me, things I could tell were afoot for a while, and had to do with YouTube playing a role on that hill, on the opposite one. I didn't like that very much, but I thought, you know what, whatever. Still didn't go run to anybody, didn't play Prayer Garden, didn't play Jenna, and I trust you, trust me here, and like I said, don't actually trust anybody who says that, make up your own minds, question everything. But, I could have this whole time, easily, and I still could. I could run any day of the week and make those two particulars look like the jokes they are. I promise you. But I'm not. And that's still not my intention here. I don't think certain people have been paying attention about how very much I could hear throughout the years. I think they forget how many Facebooks have been set up through time, what they've said, what they've done, and the difference between me and that other hill is that I've not burned out or put my brain cells in formaldehyde for years and decades, and I have proof of that in many forms for years, not just recently. So when you aren't burning out your poor brain, you can remember lots of things like most normal people. And when you don't swap Facebooks like underwear, well, Anyway, so y'all know that I am not a short, precise person. Everybody's just going to get over it. I'm sorry, but I'm getting there. And I have told the cops, just like I'm telling you, from day one of meeting these people, they were not my people. They're not my type of people. Everybody asks, well, why are y'all like this? Why would you watch kids? It really is community. It's neighbors. It's what you do in the area. Okay? However, since this began, I've watched the other hill line, twist, do all kinds of things. I know on Twitter. I've just not called it out. Not said anything. Because it's not my place while the show goes on over there. Especially on these YouTubers' platforms. But the other night, what happened in the chats has, and it comes at such a weird time for me because I and others have been trying to figure out this piece these YouTubers wanted so badly from me. that they're willing and are still willing to do what's happening to I and my children over, among other things, besides calling out their shady con ring on YouTube and international crimes and weirdness and whatever the hell else. So anyway, and this is hard, guys. I'm sorry, but this is hard for me. And it is going to be one of those, you're going to see me stutter, body language things, because there are going to be things that I'm keeping myself to keep pieces just to the cops, and pieces that still aren't public consumption. So, and I really don't care how the other hill feels about this, but there are pieces we've been putting together from an event 6 years ago. And trying to put it together and see if it makes sense with this. And then in the middle of that, here comes one of the people that knows about that event, right? Oh, Mr. Chase Brad. And what's he do this week, guys? Last week. Suddenly friends with the same place everybody was talking about, everybody shooting each other and stuff just days before. Well, to me, looks like suddenly. And then you've got Keys here who vanishes, right? But Keys talking to me, he says he's going to go over there and he's coming to Tennessee, and then suddenly sends me this news piece from WJHL. Oh man, they've effed me and whatever else, I don't know. I've got the messages. And it don't make any sense, right? It's more dramatic. I'm like, what the hell? They just mentioned you in reference to the other hill. What? I didn't see anything bad about you there, Keys. Oh, you don't think? Okay, well, you think it's safe for me to come to Tennessee then? Why wouldn't it be? You really think you're that fucking important here? Nobody knows who you are, bro. Nobody cares. Hell, even I don't care. I don't know what kind of world famous y'all think y'all are impressive, but it ain't here. Break. So anyway, it's one of the things I'm assured of on the live chat there, not when Keys is mentioned, is, or, a video chat through Facebook, is that, oh no, I get laughter, and Keys is absolutely around, ha ha ha. Well, yeah, I'm sure he is. I know there ain't no damn family, but give me a break. So, yeah, it's real funny. It's real cute. But give yourself away with that continual tie. I don't care. Either way, I just find it strange that Brad Chase shows up over there. He's one of the ones, and days before the rest of YouTube got this leaked phone call thing, right? Y'all see me start to mention it on my videos, and all this other stuff. It was one of the threats, sort of things, because the day after it outed this thing as being sort of a scam in chat, and they try to make everybody doubt that it was really me in there, and it was a troll or whatever. No, it wasn't. Oh, all hell started breaking loose, and one of the things Penny and Brad had said to me were, oh, there's this thing about Grandis and Candace, right? And if you go back and watch the videos, I finally out the whole story what they told me, which was that the knee brace didn't exist, and it flows into the same exact story you all were given, and for some reason that Friday deadline was there. Stay off YouTube until. And then what did everybody do? They were like, oh man, they're setting you up. And I'm like, that was the night before and the day of. And I was like, oh, I'm well aware. I see what YouTube's doing at Squall's behest. It's also attached to Benny. That's also attached to you all. That you forgot I've heard you all on personal phone calls with in the backgrounds. But here you are saying, oh, this is the first time you're reaching out to him with an olive branch and trying to push me on his channel for likes, clicks, and views. And then Tiffany Marie suddenly. I'm like, what the hell? No. So I knew days before the rest of you all did about what Chase and Brad was going to say. It made absolutely no sense. That Friday deadline was the UK fundraiser to push it more, because there was Brad for a whole 8 hours looking like a hero over the billboard, which I still love the billboard, but not what's behind it, and the scam and all that other bullshit behind it either. So what you get is them saying that to me days before, and then I out it and I mess up the fundraiser for the UK too, all hell starts breaking loose. That was the Friday deadline. Then the last video of Brad Chase with the whole Jodisue, if you know anything, just, and what was that to do? That was meant to push like us as suspects or something, right? To imply. Man, I don't give a damn. I'm the only one in this whole damn bunch since night one, actually before Dark even fell. I'm like, give me a lie detector test. Hell, if you were a cop, wouldn't you do the same? Like, I'm the next door neighbor that heard a scream. Like, you could literally be like, well, what if she's covering for her? That's to distract from. That would be my thoughts if I was a smart person. So I offered one. Kids offered one. Never been a taker. I've been told you're reliable, whatever, and I don't care. They can come any day of the week and do the same. Stress test, whatever the hell they want to do. I have nothing to hide, nothing to lie about, no reason to, and there's no way in hell that I'm covering or lying for anybody with a missing child. Not even sorry. So, truth is truth, and fact is facts. And it's going to remain so. So out of all the months, nothing really has transpired between I and Nether Hill. I mean, we've talked personally, obviously. They know, basically what I told, every police agency on earth. Never had an issue with it that I knew of. And though there were parts left out that they don't know, I guess. And I'm not going to touch on those really either. Just so it stays that way. But, either way, watching the other night is the Hatter. Gets on there, and y'all, I'm sure, watch those videos as well. And there's that message, right? Which in this day and time, you can fake anything. So, I don't initially buy it, but the spelling, the vernacular, it jibes with me. I see it. But he gets on there, and then there's obviously somebody calling me a liar about what I heard. And that absolutely is in the report I made. You know why? Because it's truth. Now, why suddenly is trying to make that look like it's not true important to the other hill? Why? And only now that Brad, Chase, and the rest have showed up and all this fundraiser shit's over. But here's the point with fundraisers. Yeah, the 32, whatever, it's over there. But what we've been saying this whole time are the other scam methods used, the other intake methods, what was really raised, pulled into the background. We want that shit seen, accounted for. We want it out. And we want this ring shut down. We want whatever shade and dark web stuff behind it pulled out into the open, because where you have that much money, because I promise you, clicks and views for these people, still not lucrative. Even small scams like the email, the Hurricane Camille, the P.O. Box, all these other things, still not, I mean, that's a lot of money, trust me. But it's still not how they're maintaining their lifestyle. You do not go to the links of fake feds and all these other things and all these feet on the ground and all these players in motion locally and around the nation and splitting just that, because that's still not enough for that much danger and risk. What is that? So there's something else behind this ring. Make no mistake about that. Either way, find it weird now that Brad Chase is suddenly friends and up there after all the fundraiser stuff, and he's not really the fucking hero anymore, that suddenly tunes start to change. Then after days of not really speaking, people being weird, everybody wants to talk to me suddenly. I find that real weird. And then what happens is that Oh dear. There's reversing happening. And what I find strange is that this video chat immediately takes a wild turn into crazy land with a talk about themselves and how the domestic shit on the live on YouTube the other night was fake. And I don't know who anybody thinks they're lying to. Because I've heard and I've seen the difference between playtime and... Why lie to me? They can play it, oh, it's just another fake thing again we've done to make ourselves look worse. And like we're absolutely able to be this level of, no. Why are you trying to lie to me of all people? Because the last time you told me, like, you'd lied to other people before the rest of the world knew you lied to people. But why try to lie to me and call me like that? I mean, don't. And then it takes a wild turn into teeth, and I get it, like that shit hurts, and infections happen, but then there's this hint of don't mess with the money, Jodisue, and it was phrased as I'm gonna need lots of support, Jodisue. And me, I'm like, oh well, make sure somebody's there with you, this and the other. Don't drink drinks. Don't be on alcohol. Don't be straws. You're going to get dry socket. And it was like, no, it's not really what I mean. And I knew. I caught on. That's all I could really say to that at that point. And what the hell else do you say when you realize it seems that money's more important? Like, what the hell? Oh, but it gets darker and weirder throughout that video chat. Because what I realize is the entire time, they're digging. They're digging, right? And they shouldn't be. Unless somebody else is in the room or somebody else is doing whatever, or they outright know they're lying, like it was so weird. So what we'd had happen was, a few days ago, I had a call made, and basically saying that Voldemort/Andy was still here. Or that we were there, or some amalgamation of such, and Summer's body was, oh y'all. And everybody was like, we know better, whatever. But the call had been made to an address I'm not actually at. Okay? Now, the feds know where I'm at. So that immediately tells me that somebody who's not a professional, PI, or Chase with Google there, or his watchers, or whatever, didn't get it right. Anyway, so it tells me where the call came from, for starters. And the weird part is the heel knew where I was at. She and I had, just a week or two prior, had talked about her visiting, whatever, getting stuff here that's hers, that I was nice enough to bring with me, because I knew once I left the hill on my side, there wouldn't be access to it. Andy would probably steal it, so I brought it here, that way that wouldn't happen. So, but they've never picked up. And, and she specifically mentioned everything, like, and I see them pass by, they know where I'm at. So I don't know what kind of game that was, but they let the PIs, or Chase, or whoever believe whatever the hell, and made the call up other places where I'm not. But on the video chat, played me like I'm stupid. I don't remember talking about that. I don't know where you're really at. Like, bullshit, you don't. Bullshit, you don't. Why are you lying about something so basic and simple? You know? Why? And then there's that theory again, pieces and parts that have Chase's little hands all over them for that call-in. And then what I get is people trying to make me misremember what I heard and saw the day Summer disappeared. And that's something nobody on this fucking earth for any amount of money is gonna do. Nobody. Not ever. You ain't gonna bribe me. You're not gonna scare me. You're not gonna make me stand down. Nope. So what I then get is, somebody told me that you said the last place you'd seen Summer was getting out of the shower with Donnie. No, that's not what you seen and saw. The fuck it ain't. Last time I saw that little girl was 2 nights before she went missing, and that's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I heard. She was naked as the day is long at that damn door at the top level. And she was yelling at you for a damn towel while the oldest was out there talking and chatting with me. And you were yelling at him because he was like, Jodisue's right about the dogs. Once again, you all keep dismissing since day one and trying to make it seem like it ain't something it is. And those fucking dogs are the key. Those dogs are the key. You want to know how I know that? Because they're partly my pups. Because I've watched, I've listened, because my brain ain't burnt out. Because I sat there for over a month listening in the dark as footsteps left that driveway, as gravel crunched below Dawn's heels, as I listened to boards lift up and things move around in the dark, as I watched things disappear off of my trail cams after y'all suddenly realized I had them. All these little pieces. But that is exactly where I saw Summer last. And she was yelling, kind of being a brat. Nobody come get her a towel. And I had to ask. I was like, is that the boys? Because there's a shadow behind her, right? And her hair. And I couldn't see good that night. And Andy was driving, so I was in the passenger seat. Actually, no, I think I'm wrong on that part. I was in the driver's seat. I believe. Because the oldest was right there, and you were to the right. Yeah. And you were in your usual garb, had definitely not just gotten out of the shower. And then here you are on that live, chatting with me on Facebook the other night, telling me that, no, it was you that had gotten out of the shower. So remember? No, because that ain't true. It's not true. I remember the truth, which is exactly where and how I saw Summer last. And, I know Andy saw her the night before she went missing. But I saw her 2 nights before. What I can't figure out is why all of a sudden, after all these months of you knowing this, all of a sudden now it's pertinent that you're going to try to fuck with my memory, try to manipulate me, try to talk me into stuff. Like, do you really think I'm going to go back and lie to the face and be like, here, officer, sir, I need to change my story? Y'all got the wrong girl. Wrong one. And then to mention it right along with money. Well, I'm going to need lots of support. It tells me right there, immediately. It's just giant flags. And I'm not saying anybody's guilty. not guilty. But if my child was missing, and I also don't want to project on anybody else, because, like I've said from the beginning, y'all are a different breed all your own. So, and everybody's different. They grieve differently, they do differently. Especially people, you know, Garth Brooks style, friends in low places, you know. But, when I hear that, that sets off alarm bells for me. Like, does the money mean more? Do your teeth mean more than your missing daughter? Does having people change their stories? Do you really think somebody's willing to change your story so you can profit right now? Somebody that could maybe hold pieces that can help find your missing daughter, you want to change their story so you can make money right now. Girl, I would go on fucking anywhere live any day of the week without my grill in, or walk around with everyone I'm rotting before I would give a damn about a penny and put it before my kid. And hell, it's like right now, radiation's not being kind to mine. It's been quick. The cancer is not helping. I'm on the struggle bus. I could be back on YouTube. I could be making money. I ain't doing that. It's not even my missing child. I'm standing here providing for my kids and winter clothes and doing whatever I got to do. And you can't even manage to put that and your kid, your missing kids, in front of that for right now? That's fucked up. So I guess I'm going to continue what I've been doing, and I'm going to put summer first before, because I don't even know what to think at this point. But I do know that since this week, and watching certain people enter up there at the hill, that there's something real wrong. Real wrong. Oh, and I'm sure that there's been money offered, and, you know, then you got the Dr. Phil thing and the news thing happening tomorrow, which is going to drive traffic, right? It's why all the YouTubers are going to start a day and suddenly care about summer again. What they care about is that there's enough videos up today and tomorrow to where the newcomers are too lazy to go and look back at the circus and the con. And they'll get clicks and likes and you know, cash pushed to them with the super chats. They're going to use it to get new people drawn in to help them keep views up and do whatever. And I'm sure part of that's coming to you all at this point too. I don't know. But there's definitely money to be made still with the attention that's coming tomorrow. And I would hope that all of you stop for just tomorrow and you let the light shine on summer for once. You don't make it the Dawn show. You don't make it the Candace show. You don't make it the Brad show. And I feel unfortunate that I don't even have to make this tonight. But, that you just let that light shine on summer so that maybe it gets picked up somehow nationally, more attention, somebody sees her, knows something, calls something in. You know, like, and if you ain't guilty, whatever the hell, I don't care. Like, worry about your pennies and dimes later. Worry about your daughter now. Like, what the hell is that? But don't ever stand there and make me, like, wonder about your motives. Don't ask me to change. Like, you gotta be a special kind of stupid to think somebody's gonna go back and be like, "Dear federal agents, can I change my story so that my neighbors can make money off their missing child?" I ain't down for that type of trouble, and I ain't doing that for anybody. What the hell is that? I'm sorry, guys. You're going to hear me do this off and on. Because, like I said, I'm tinkering with. Anyway. And you know what people forget? And here's the thing. No, people don't forget because I've not said. The hill forgets. The hill forgets. You know, there's a reason that I've stayed away from, because people have asked this whole time, what are some memories you have of summer? And I've stayed away from that topic. I even asked, the news the other night to stay away from it. For exactly the reason I'm telling you now. Because most of the ones I have of summer, or the rest, are all kind of sad. They're not really of a happy child playing. They're not of... They're uncomfortable moments, painful things, sad things. And here's the thing, guys. And this all ties back into the piece YouTube has been after so hotly that they're willing to do half of what they're doing. And I'll get to that here at some point. But, the thing was, when I first met the Hill, and like I said, that'll tie back in here in a little bit. We had lived there for several years and had never so much as really seen them. And, but the first time I met Candace was after an incident, like I said, we'll get back to, which is now part of what we're trying to all figure out. But, anyway, she was on a dirt bike with the next youngest, and I'm not gonna call names other than Summers. And, diaper full on that one, hanging off, old as the hills. And his little sippy cup, it's full of liquor. I know that because of, announced it like it was something to be prideful about. Because he was wanting something to drink, and she told him no, we couldn't have that because it had her liquor in it. Hello, new neighbor, right? And then the first day I met her, she was telling me about a church con for Easter and how they didn't really do that, but there was this church and you get the free bike at this one, or you could get $100 in this one, and wouldn't know if I joined. I'm like, man, I'm not into that stuff. Y'all know I'm atheist, but I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, not my type of people, sort of thing. And then asked if I go there just to help her. I'm like, no, ma'am. Anyway, what I didn't realize, nor did any of the rest of the neighbors who knew them closely, was that she was pregnant that whole time. And I have the messages to prove when we all found out Summer existed, which was after she was born. Because in the middle of a snowstorm, here they come in February with a car seat, and had to park at the end of the lane at Ben Hill and walked in with Summer because you couldn't get into the road. And I and the other neighbors immediately, they messaged me and were like, do you see this? And I was like, see what? And they were like, they just walked in with a brand new car seat. I'm like, you're kidding me. We were all like, holy shit, another one. Great. And then when I first got to meet Summer, she was rigid. Every time you'd hold her, she was stiff as a board. She cried. She had fetal alcohol sitting in her ears like her siblings kind of did when they were younger. And obviously that whole time I had watched, but we didn't know she was pregnant. Every day drinking. So then, a few months goes by. I'm not over there. I'm not really paying attention. And I go over there at a certain point for some reason, who knows, still trying to be friendly with these new neighbors I'd met, and concerned for other people's children despite our own situation on there, which at that time, everything was going pretty smoothly for a few years on our hill. It was one of the rare times, it lasted 3 or 4 years in a row. So it was calm my way. So at that point, I guess I had the ability to throw stones. Either way, their well water was straight sulfur, bad, to where when you turned it on, and that's nobody's fault in there. Well water is well water. Each one's different. But if it's this bad and discolored, you go get bottled water, especially for a baby. Nope. And I was standing there watching as it wasn't formula, but a little bit of milk, mostly water, and oatmeal. For one that was not even, a few weeks old, like a month or two. And I was like, holy, like hell, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt that baby, Like, no. Man. So, formula I had, they send you mail for like 25 years after you have a child. I happen to have a son. I gave it to him. After that, I guess contact was intermittent off and on throughout the years, depending on. But, there's also a reason my kids and theirs never really hang out. Because it was like, It wasn't their faults, you see. I knew it wasn't their faults. They couldn't help that. Couldn't help how they were being raised or done or anything like that. But, and I don't even know that the other hill realizes. But I know at first I thought, well, they don't have money to feed them. They don't have this, they don't have that. So I would bring groceries over, I'd do whatever, So would other neighbors, churches, whatever. But then you start to realize over a length period that there's all kinds of money. Just like there's always all kinds of money. Man, even Andy could bring in like 1,000 plus a week and they would still be able to drop more and afford more. But you'd watch in the evenings as the liquor was bought and as the cigarettes were bought and this and the other and case of beer, but then like a box of off-brand Q corn dogs, right? And not even enough in totality for the entire family. And sitting on the bar like it was some great fucking feat. But then when there was a new engine that needed to be bought or anything like that, here's that money immediately available, same day, thousands of dollars. Wouldn't leave her with any money, but had a bank account. And we always thought maybe inheritance is the other, although we're told there are other things that have been for a while now. Especially after runoff periods that usually are 3 days to Knoxville. For supposed, crack smoking sessions that somehow you come back with more money than you left with. It just never makes sense. Nothing ever. It's always been like, you could ask people about the color of the sky, and it's like trying to nail down Jell-O. It's always been that way. It's why I never thought much about them lying throughout this whole thing. It's still why I'm like, I don't know. Guilty, not guilty. I can't tell you. It's like diabetes, and there's always a church theme. After every 3-day runoff, for years, it's all of a sudden, I believe in the church. And crazy talk, you know. That's why I didn't think much about that either after summer vanished. I mean, that started immediately that evening in the past tense talk, which also didn't bother me that night. It didn't seem like what Boswell type stuff. You know, what did bother me, though, are statements I initially took as like a schizophrenic person I know saying that they come to him and said something, some sort of quote from one of the religious texts talking about cleansing those who basically gotten tainted, like a sexual sort of comment type of thing. But you never know whether that's tweaker or schizophrenic, and so you don't know whether to take that with a grain of salt or, I know, it's real bizarre. Whole thing has been a circus for minute one. So, yeah, it looks like my new vehicle, have a little bit more talking to do, in case you've not noticed. Anyway, I'll get there eventually. So, over the years, it's been weirdness like that, right? And then you realize they do have money to spend, just not on the kids. And it's like, what the hell's up with that? And then you'll leave her without money all day, but here you are, and you have money to drop, and always these thousands to drop, and and it's like right now, what gets me is, like, just a couple weeks ago, when I guess we were still in neighbor terms, everybody's pissed off by having to pay a couple of bucks in child support. And then the other night on the video chat over Facebook, it's that all of a sudden it's this astronomical number and they got to pay that. And it seems like, hell, that shouldn't be a problem for you, considering, like, and if you live on those hills and you have those properties and the houses the way they are, and so there's really no bills. So, and you're still working, you shouldn't have a problem paying any of that. So, why are you suddenly concerned about money from, I don't know, wherever the support's going to come from now that Brad Chase and all these others have, and then the fundraiser, I mean, like, what's that about? Then here comes this BS phone call in, like you just had all of your kids taken by DCS, and then here you are weaponizing that crap for children you know have never missed a meal in their lives. I have taken care of them even in my own chaos. They have never missed clothing, Christmas, birthdays. Everything was celebrated. Unlike over there on that hill where they were told that, oh, well, because of our religion we don't, but you go to every damn church gathering up shit that you can, and then selling it online every year, and those kids are left with nothing again. I've struggled and went without eating and all kinds of things to take care of mine, even in the worst times. And here's the kicker for me. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know if people's burnt out brains don't realize or what. I mean, I know they know I've fed their kids. I know they know I've watched their kids, all of them, fight over one bowl of soup in that floor with a fork. And Andy is my witness. Maybe right now he's pissed, won't vouch, but I promise you that is the case. One bowl of soup, multiple kids, one fork. A piece, like a bowl of damn chicken noodle soup. What the hell is that about? But either way, they would come to my house and immediately upon entering go straight to my fridge. I've watched them take chocolate milk, regular milk, whatever they wanted out of the fridge, uncap it, drink straight out of it, and leave it sitting on the floor, fridge door wide open, because they're not really taught any better. And get whatever they wanted off the shelves, and I had gorilla shelves all in the kitchen, food on them all times, freezers outside, you name it. And, there were many times, including right after I had surgery. And the oldest two would always be the ones that would cross the hill. Not Summer, the next youngest. And, I seen their little feet under a curtain I blocked the living room from the kitchen off with. Because it was all glass and, had hunters and things. So, anyway, hunters, that way nobody gets that mixed up with. But anyway, I'd feel something, hear something, and I'd kind of come to. And I knew it was them in there. And they were just getting themselves something to eat. Or grabbing something off the shelves. And I'd never say a word. I know they'd peek in to see if I was asleep, whatever else. And I just let them think whatever. There was always stuff left easy on top of the freezer they could get a hold of outside. And I never said a word. And I don't even know that the next hill knows. And I don't care if they do now. Because you know what I'm sure of? Are those boys are somewhere where they're eating. And you ask why none of us called DCS in the neighborhood, because I know that'll be a cry too. Well, why didn't you? Why didn't you? Well, hell, DCS is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're not doing anything. What do we do? And then every other day, it's them messaging all of us going, hey, DCS is here again, and we know the reasons why are lies, but you tell them what they want to hear. You go, oh, screw DCS, screw this, oh, they're bad guys, whatever. There's nothing else you can do but try to get along with your neighbors. Know they're there, nothing's going to be done. And the community as a whole try to take care of these children. I promise you that. I know this to be fact. And if ever other neighbors speak up, which they may not, because look what's happening to us, right? They will tell you exactly what I am. That community, the churches, they knew what those two are. But they knew those kids weren't at fault. And so they did, knowing half of it was going to be sold, given away, done whatever. But food was given, the boys and her were taken care of by the community. So, but then it's like half of what you hear and see you can't prove. So you're going to call in and you're just going to dismiss it, right? Then there you are living beside pissed off neighbors in a place that's something you can get killed over for. Like, I know certain people on that hill may not remember, they're going to deny, but it's like there's a particular female up the road that they were keeping at the house. Not keeping, but was staying there. And, after normal pass-out time for one of them in the evening, the other one tended to get up to things. And so, he's caught on a futon where all the kids are sleeping on a pile of laundry. All the kids. Upstairs, next to the front door. Sleeping with this woman. Right beside of the children. And somebody comes out of their stupor, finds out, throws this girl off hill supposedly, naked, supposedly, and makes her get out. Why are you more mad at the female than the dude, screwing somebody beside all of your children on the same futon? What the hell is that about? But you call that in. Well, how do you prove that? How do you prove that? I don't know. And then once again, I don't know if Hill remembers, but I have proof that I reported it in. There was one night not long ago where she wants to point down the road towards Whore Hill, and anybody from the area will know exactly where I'm talking about, and towards Bayleton. And says there's a child down there for sale, for trade, for meth. A little one. And by the way, I told the feds this too. So, just in case you're wondering, they're well aware. And I reported at the time that it happened the night I was told there's a child down there for sale for meth. And I tried to get who, what, when, where, why, because even I was like, I turned to Andy, I was like, look, if there is a baby down here, I was like, I will go, and I'm not lying. I was like, I will legit go find some meth in this town and get it if that's what it takes to get this baby away from whoever's willing to sell it and take this baby to the fucking police. But nobody would give me enough information to go on to go get this baby. This little one that was supposedly for sale for meth. And then everybody clammed up about it, and I couldn't find out who, where, when. So obviously there's people like that in their circle. Hell, I can't name anybody. And if you live in this town, everybody knows everybody. I mean, there's like literally nobody that's not on meth or heroin or fentanyl right now. This is a sad-ass fact. You go to every store, the whole parking lot's filled with these people. Like, half of your class, no, 90% of my class is dead. Like, it's funeral after funeral after funeral. It's not a joke around here. And, it's bad. But I can't name out of any, and it's many that I know that are, I can't name a one around here that would sell kids for meth or trade them off for, like, that's wild. So to know people that would speaks of even the quality of meth heads that are around there. To me personally, like, it's a little bizarre. And there are just so many things through the years, and one of the last, and like glass houses and all, one of the last times, before summer vanished, I hear the voice, and I'd heard Summer come out, and like the little, phone game with the can and string. They went along telling one of the other siblings, like, Dad's being mean to Mom again, and come down the hill towards where the oldest was at to go and help Mama. And then here I've got recently these same people in there. I mean, I can hear how many times these fights break out just like everybody could over on our hill. Maybe probably clearer, honestly. And, people forget that, but recently been like, oh no, it's only been like 2 or 3 times in our lives. And bullshit. Like, girl, I have taken you off more than that after bruises are on you. You've asked me for rides away from there more often than that. Like, who are you trying to lie to right now? And I don't know if it's a combination of, like, burnt or trying to reset history so they don't look and sound as bad even to me, and that way it's a hint to not say anything. I don't know. But I'm not playing that game, not for anybody. And, I'm not going to do it. Truth is truth. And then, all these years it ain't mattered that I held all, all these things. But suddenly money comes into play. And it matters. Matters enough for you to ask me or hint at me changing my story and facts so you can profit. To put myself into a position to where I'd be in trouble for that. And then it still might be true. And that it help end up losing your daughter further. Not find her. Like, you'd be willing for somebody that might hold a peace to lie and change stories to help you profit before they, like, mind blown. Mind freaking blown. But then, all these things, it's like, And then on that same video chat, what I get is, now look, y'all, there's a truck in this family that is a Toyota. Now this was vetted and an exact day given the last time that we had seen it. It had been his property at our hill. From like day one, you know, some are going missing. It's not the right make, model, anything like that. Definitely knows plays glitter and whatever, right? It was already cleared. Now, Candace knows this. And she was also up there at our hill the last days I was moving with the private investigators as they were talking to me, interviewing me, taping me. And seen the truck there. She knows the truck exists. Never been an issue until all of a sudden Chase Brad shows up, right? And then here's his call, and here's him going back through the truck thing again the other day. And it was like, you know, but on this particular thing the other night, several days after the feds have been here again, what we have are, and the last I knew was being told, and nobody's really speaking over there, back and forth, but that's from them, so take that with a grain of salt. But what they were doing there was telling me the feds wanted to know. The feds wanted to know. Well, that's real weird to me, because the feds were just here, and they do know. And why would the feds be asking you to get information from me when they know they can come get it themselves? Do I look like I was born yesterday? So that tells me that you're also the ones that made that fucking call. At the behest who? YouTube, Brad, Chase, Keys? I don't know, nor do I really care. And this has followed up, that call and all that other bullshit, with the 3 or 4 days of people in the yard taping my daughter and weirdness. Oh. But then here they are, wanting me to believe that the feds want them to call me. I love you. I love you. Yeah, I'm out here to see if I can get it to.
Boomer was ripping Boog's apple pie to shreds on the couch.
Yeah, tell him not to eat that thing.
Mm-hmm. He's just sitting there going,
I hope me and this thing are gonna fight.
I'm gonna sit on here, it's hot.
Well. Okay, we're gonna sit on this list. Actually, give me about 5 minutes, because I'd rather you not be running this, okay? And it upset you. Yes, I am that. You can. I love you.
Yeah. Love you. Love you too.
Do you feel any better?
Huh?
You feel any better?
Still
Yeah.
feel like I want to bomb.
That's no good. Okay. I'll be in a second. Anyway, so to make me think that the feds need you to dig, and what you're looking for was where Andy was. Why? You really think the feds need you to do that? They're not going to ask you to do that. They know where he is, just like they know where I am. They're not going to need you to call me, and they already been here, but see, that's what you were digging for. You were trying to see what was said, what was done, la la la. And because actually what's happening is you want to know for Keys. You want to know for your shitty-ass PIs who connect back to this crap. Somehow, some way. I ain't dumb. I wasn't born yesterday. Because y'all have all the wrong, like Google's all you got. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, you were digging. Because you didn't know what had actually happened with your little call. And because, I mean, the feds don't need you to tell them where he's at, or who the new girl is, or And then you tell me, I'm like, well, they should know where he's working. Oh, well, he quit a couple days ago, was fired, but they won't tell anybody. I'm like, oh, but the feds gave you that information today. Bullshit. And they would know where he was at. I'm like, and she's like, but they don't know which. And blah, blah, blah. No, you're asking for somebody else. You know why? For some more fake bullshit setups. And for some more mudslinging. Like it's been done since day one off of that hill. Anybody, it seems like, y'all can maybe get shit to stick on beside yourselves. Or your own dope dealers. It's been enemy number one, even if they don't make sense. And then here's Brad Chase wanting to stick to anybody. Either way, I can see what you're doing. Feds aren't, like, asking you to do any of that. Like, they could literally... I wasn't born yesterday. So you're digging for somebody, and whoever's around you at that time, the other night, whoever you're reporting for, you don't want them to know the truth, which is you knew exactly where I was at. We talked about it just a few days before. But for some reason, you let them do the wrong address, and I don't know if in your mind you thought, oh, that's me helping. No, it ain't. Why are you going along with these people to hurt me and my kids? Money. Because apparently you're even willing to fucking forget summer now, if money's involved. Like, and I'm just pissed about it. And so perplexed by it. Like, whatever. I knew money the whole time was flowing in. It was kind of the main concern within days when I seen you at Walker's Fork and you were busy setting up fundraisers. And the eldest was in trouble. And why was he in trouble? Hell, they're going through things too, acting out, whatever. Leave him the hell be, you know? Nope. Like, I understand. Yeah, and I've watched for years as everybody is to their... And it ties back into other things for me. I've watched for years as litter after litter after litter, and hell, the whole community has. As they're dumped off in places like the churches and other areas. I mean, literally, every few weeks there's a new litter just dumped like it doesn't make a shit. Or the kid's favorite pet's just given away to some random car at the bus stop because they stop and go, oh, what a cute. And here the kid's crying, and you're just like, it don't matter. Here's their favorite pet, take it. I've watched, as I've told you, not to touch baby deer. You know, that the mom will be back for it. You do it anyway. And you take them to your house. And you're feeding them watermelon until they about die from it. And then it's, oh, well, you're right, Jodisue, and here, can you take care of it? Just like every other animal over, like the rabbits. There's full names tattooed into their ear with needles and pen ink. You know, that I end up having to take care of. And then what do you do when TWRA shows up with the baby deer? Well, I watched it because I could hear him pulling in the main road and go over to yours, and you point him over to mine. Instead of this baby deer being released, guess what? Here comes TWRA because you told him I had the baby. And instead of it getting back on its feet and going back in the wild, guess what? It gets euthanized. All because you chose to touch it. I've watched his dogs over there have their guts stomped out and then walk around for months like that. Suffering. I've watched his cats were sewn up without anesthesia all the way around them, not just like a little cut and held down. Like, I don't know who's capable of that, but it ain't me. Like, you know, it's like, my dog keeps being trapped over there to breed because they're easy dogs to sell, right? Look like full huskies and things, when they're first born. Easy to calm people with, lie about. Even tried to buy back the puppies, so they wouldn't be over there. Because it bothered me that much. But no, it was to me, it was, nope, can't even buy them. Because I knew. No animal really needs to be over there either. And that's truth. Absolute God's honest truth. And there are still so many things I could say. But here's where we're going to get to tonight. Here's the piece with my opinion attached. So, the year plus leading up to Summer being born, so 2015, 2014. Mind you, at this point we had not met the other Hill yet. Knew they existed. Didn't even realize Miss Goat had a son. Didn't realize there were, like, Miss Goat was weird, and it was one of the few people in the creek that Andy's mama could not stand, and that tells you something if you know anything about Andy's mama, who's probably one of the only good human beings out of that family I can name. But they were the go-to and coming for all the community for clean well water, first pictures, all kinds of things. Never really, either way, stayed away from over there, like, did not like the woman, whatever, she's weird. But there was never men there that I seen in all the 26 years I was around, like, well, before Miss Code passed, or anything, like, been there since I was a kid. Even Andy hadn't seen men come over there, did not realize Miss Code had a son. He was never mentioned. So we didn't realize that was who was living there. We just knew somebody was after Miss Code's passing. And what we personally know to be true. And the reason I know that panel before Dr. Phil was bullshit and had to turn off by 20 minutes is because they mentioned coming back in to take care of Miss Code. Well, if you're part of the community, you know that's bullshit because somebody else took care of her as she was dying. Somebody else took care of her funeral costs, and Dawn nor Candace were present when she was buried, and those people over yon way still maintain and take care of the grave. I knew within 15 minutes of that panel, the behavior panel, that Dawn was fucked, and I turned it off because everything in those 15 minutes was bullshit. I was like, oh, he's it. And how the hell they still come back to the conclusion they did, I'll never know. Either way, we knew somebody was living there for years, but we'd never met them. But what starts happening is every time Andy was out of town with a particular boss working on his yacht down on Norris Lake. And at the time I was on medication for my neurocardiogenic syncope that was messing with me bad. And it's the one I've touched on that Andy kept me on purpose because he knew at that point he could mess with things, he could get by with things, he could cheat again, do whatever, right? He could bring back things in our lives that were not supposed to be and were promised not to, and then after he was able to do that, things went from good for years again, back downhill, and into the circus of our own that you see now. Gradually, but drastically. But for years, we had not met Candace and Dawn. Well, that's no good. So anyway, for years we had not met them. Knew they were over there. And what happens is every time Andy is gone over the weekend or a few days or whatever to Norris Lake, somebody who knew the property well enough, like I was laying in bed at night, and my arm, maybe an arm and a half's length away from the window. When it first began, it was spring, summer of one season because I had the windows open. And it was just a screen, And, man, it made you feel kind of crazy, right? but I'd see a shadow creep up and stand to the side of the window. Almost every night he was gone. Pretty often, anyway. And they would just stand there. But even with all the dead leaves and everything else, they were so quiet, even I doubted. It's like, man, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? And as you can tell from my videos for months now, I could hear on that property. So whoever was doing that, they'd been on the property enough to be able to pull that. Anyway, there was one particular night. I knew it wasn't like it was a noise, a dead noise. Like, I was like, that's it. And this particular medicine I was on turns off your fight or flight anyway. Now, even on normal days, I don't have much of one of those. But this took it all away. So there I was with the kids alone. Definitely knew I was seeing, what I was seeing that night. And so I ran out the door. Jumped up, ran out the door, ran after this person, and almost caught him. So an arm's length away from pulling him down by the shirt collar in the driveway. And it hit me. It was like, Jodisue, you've got to stop. You just left the kids alone. If something happens to you, they could, So I stopped. And I let him go. And then for a while, things calmed down, And in between all this, I'm getting anonymous gifts from Amazon of things I've only talked about inside the house. Now, mind you, even at this point, we didn't really have internet. And I still don't do the spyware pancakes or anything in the house, just saying. So there was no way I could have accidentally ordered, but it was stupid stuff like clay softener, random garbage stuff that I had only mentioned in that house, to Andy, to the kids. And they never would tell me who was sending them, even though I knew what they were and for what they were, that it was whoever was watching was sending those, to let me know that they were that close. They heard me. You know who does that? A super predator. That's who. But anyway, this carries on from one season to the next boat season, off and on. Andy keeps trying to tell me I'm crazy because I'm medicine. Like, Andy's always trying to make me doubt my sanity, right? Because that's just part of being around a narcopath and bullcrap, and the medicine was affecting me at that point. But it wasn't like this, And the kids had heard and seen it by that point too, so he starts taking me seriously. And then one night, what we have to do is take out his Jeep like he's normally leaving, parked it somewhere, brought him back in my Jeep and covered him up to where he couldn't be seen, snuck him in the house, had him stay quiet, and lo and behold, what happens? Well, there comes Peeping Tom and fucks around and finds out. So Andy chases him at this point. Almost catches him, but he's super overweight at the time, trying to get another way. He has to come back. At this point, they jump in a truck. He comes back to get the car to chase them, the Jeep. And they take off towards the Sullivan County side. And I believe he said that there was two people, one driving and one hot dogs. You got your normal.
The burger has ginormous tomatoes and mustard.
Oh dear. Can you take it off? Okay. If not, we'll go up here to McDonald's. Okay. They messed up, I guess. And, this poor child's not having a good day today. But they They run, they get away, and then after that, what happens like the next day? Well, Candace shows up at the mailbox. And then Don introduces himself. You know what Andy maintains for years, including when we talked to the feds after Summer vanished, is that has been and was Don that he almost caught. He's maintained that since he met Don. It was like, that's the guy. You know, until recently, and we also had animal issues and dogs disappearing and weird things with the dogs at the time. And I thought that, and I was like, holy crap, because I was on the friends, we were trying to piece this together with other people. And I thought it was a new revelation. Because I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that when Elwood and Blondie and all that, and they kept coming back after disappearing, the litters were at the bottom of the mailbox, and they weren't there to bark at whoever this was at the window, and all these things. Was that not, because it was a birthday reminder of their birthday in October, right before Halloween, is what popped it up. And I was like, wait a minute, when did the problems with the dogs start with us? Well, it coincides with the exact time the Peeping Tom was there on our property. And the gifts were coming. But they would come back smelling like hay, like somebody kept them somewhere, super clean, and you could see rope ties around their back legs where somebody had them tied, and at first kept thinking snares or, you know, all these things. But it didn't make sense. Somebody around there has a barn, especially with hay. Couldn't figure out who, it just, either way, I thought this, I was like, wait a minute, the other night. I thought it was a revelation because I'd forgotten. But then going back through to put this timeline together, the past little while for my own self and others now looking into it. Even at the time, apparently I had taken note of that, but I'd forgotten in the years in between. So then I thought, wow, wait a minute. But actually I had noticed at the time and told other people about it in messages about the dogs and the issues with them. So apparently we weren't the only ones having dog issues around the time weird pervs are around. Imagine that. So anyway, then, here's what gets me, and I had thought all these years it was targeted towards me, right? Even up until recently, in the past few days, as we think about this and we think about it, and we're trying to puzzle it through. And it occurs to me, my daughter at the time was co-sleeping when Andy was out of town. And so she was right beside of me, and behind me, though. And guess how old she was? 5 and 6. And she was the only little girl on the road at the time. Just like she ended up being before we moved. Somehow again. Also, what strikes me as weird is that the Peeping Tom thing kind of stopped after Summer was born. Which wasn't long after. You know, kind of just went away. And then I start thinking, you know what's weird? And I thought it's been weird after I figured out how old. And I've never doubted the Utah thing or the sisters, not once. And as a matter of fact, Don turned it to me not long ago, just a couple weeks ago, and told me, and I can pinpoint an exact date for that too. If I look at the one video after the red truck crashed on Ben Hill with the tweakers, not long ago. Because it was, I think, that night and the next, I don't know, I've got the things, I can give you an exact date, and told me that, yeah, he done that. He had absolutely sexually assaulted them. But Daddy was like, oh, but, you know, they're whores, whatever, like, you know, no. But I never doubted their Utah story, you see, because I knew enough about Utah that when it was just a text message being shared online, they knew what I knew to be true about Utah. So I knew they weren't lying. So I never had to have Dawn tell me anything. But then when I found out their ages in comparison to Summer, and now I'm putting together that age with my own and our separate incident 5 and 6 years ago. And the dogs. It bothers me greatly. And they all may just be coincidence. 5, 6, 5, 6. And years in between at that, right? Here's 5 or 6 years going in between incidents. Summer missing. And you know, also what strikes me as weird, there was conversations during the same time that the peeping Tom was active on our property. Carly Trent went missing too during that time, although she was found and with, you know, the guy. But, you know, definitely not Dawn involved there. But these numbers, the pattern, 5, 6, 5, 6, including in between incidents. I don't know if it means anything. It could really just be, you know, 'cause human brains enjoy trying to put patterns together. And I'm not trying to make anybody look guilty that's not, or innocent, or in any way. But I find it strange myself. And I find it strange that I was seeing, you know, the guy come and go in the red Toyota. You know, a guy in a red Toyota. For weeks prior, that didn't seem like he belonged there, didn't seem like a drug addict, didn't seem like all these things. And the other woman down there with the yard sale was seeing the same guy in that same Toyota. And then it's understandable that they vanished out of our home. But why did they also vanish out of the other one they didn't belong in either? And if Andy was right and there was two working together the night that he almost caught him, then was there 2 this time? And you see, that's where that comes into place with the Chase story. Because, see, Penny and new pieces and parts. And that's why they were so pissed. They wanted that last piece before I outed the scammer could figure it out. And then they called me greedy because I was asking about the money. But you want to know why? It was because you can't trust a motherfucker on little shit. And by this point, I knew what everything was. But that little shit and asking about it and nothing transpiring told me that the big shit, especially after that 10 minutes that's missing in that video still from Q and John Q, was exactly what we thought it is. And it still is. Where's that 10 minutes? I don't care if that 32, 33 reaches to us. There's more at play here. And now I feel like it's reaching the hill, too. Since Brad's made his appearance. And Keys has done this mysterious vanishing act. And everybody keeps telling me, oh, watch out, he's dangerous. People die around him, people this, people that. You know what? Psh, me and Death are old friends, bud. And y'all can keep on with the DCS calls and the bullshit, targeting me and my kids and doing the victimizing. It's really like sitting here every day besides Andy. I mean, it really is. But I've dealt with that for 26 years. Y'all aren't a drop in the bucket. So, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm very much going to keep speaking and doing what's right. And I'm not going to lie for any of you. I'm not going to change my story for any of you. I heard what I heard, and I saw what I saw. And that includes things that's still not for the public to know, or you to know. But I know the story of where Summer was last seen was changed about 93 times before the cops even got there that day. I know that you keep trying to keep the boys quiet about the dogs. The stories about the dog changes, you know, constantly, including Dawn's them stupid mutts thing the other night. I ain't stupid, and there's something up them dogs more even until the time I left Ben Hill. Those dogs have been the key from day one, and it's puzzling out why for me. But either way, this whole thing is a messed up, bizarre circus sideshow. And a dirty one. There's criminal, everything's afoot everywhere, behind every little pad you lift up. Makes you want to wear a tinfoil hat most days. And it's like, now there's pieces I don't want to say because it's going to disrupt things. But it's like, I watched the other day, as we were interviewing for the news a couple weeks ago now, people sit in the road and film us. And then we got followed right on our bumper from that after the news crew left, all the way back to where we're going almost. And then the car turned down a place. If it had wanted to actually go there, it would have taken the other exit long before it. It didn't. It wanted to make sure that we were coming back out this way. Then you have the freaks in the yard showing up and filming my daughter and all these other things. You know, at this point we're terrified to even send her back to Hogwarts again, and, you know, like, it's disrupting any hope of normality she has. And the healing process that we're all into. And it shouldn't be that way. Y'all are going to target more kids. In the name of what? Money? Crime? What in the hell is worth this to you all, that y'all act this crazy on the ground, have your fingers in this many pies, are willing to fuck up a real child's investigation? I don't understand. There's a lot more here at stake than just money. I promise you. But anyway, after the filming of us, obviously, people knew we had. And then I start getting hints in my inbox from all kinds of fake sources. Doing this WJHL drop of hints and things like that. Trying to get me to cough up that I had spoken, basically. I was like, no, I don't know. But it's weird that came up within, like, literally an hour or two after these interviews had taken place. Which tells me YouTube had been the one watching. Or Brad Chase, and they want to know what the hell I was up to. One of them, somewhere, somehow, fake fed, the people they have all acting as one to be the fake fed. Hell, I don't know. And then backwards threats start coming after. I won't cough up the WJHL stuff that night, right? But phrased to me like it was other people that were gonna have problems, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave that up to others, and I'm not gonna touch on it. But it was direct threats, but worded in a way to where it wasn't direct enough for me to be able to be like, "Dear police." Some scary ass shit. Just like I know, like, Hatter's been on their Facebooks for a while. He's messaging, they're talking to him, bothering to tell him I'm a liar about something I absolutely heard. Well, what bothers somebody about suddenly now, not the months prior, but suddenly bothers them about me going, and since they outed it themselves and gave that information to Hatter that I wasn't really going public with, but I hadn't been touched on much. But I absolutely did hear a certain point there when it was screaming at them, "What did you do? What did you do?" And it was one of the points that day looking for something I knew stuff had become dire. This was not, she's missing. This is something that, I just... So yeah, trust me, it was said. I know it was. I do not doubt. It was loud and clear as a bell. And they reply back, "Nothing, mama, I swear. So what's the problem now? Why tell somebody I'm a liar? Didn't tell me that to my face all these months. Didn't have a problem with that for all these months. Now all of a sudden we don't want that out. Don't want it known to be truth. Why is that? Profit? Or because it makes somebody seem guilty, even if you're not. And I get it, and I've told y'all as much, stop fucking lying. Told y'all. I mean, even if you ain't done nothing, stop lying, because it just makes you look like garbage. Just for once, lay those masks down. Be like, we are garbage. Yeah, we look like crap, but help us find our daughter. Quit trying to make you look better over. That would be the most helpful thing. But instead, now you want me to join that game and start lying and being shady? I don't think so. And hell, it ain't even for my own gain. You want me to do it so you can gain. That's what's fucked up. Like, that's wild. Like, you're like, oh yeah, just go ahead and change your story and lie to the feds so you can help us. Well, you can go to prison for, I don't know, lying to the feds. Are you kidding me? Who thinks like that? I'm not changing anything, because everything that they know is truth for me. Because it is true. It is fact. Like, and you nor anybody else are going to scare me away from it, make me back down, make me change my story, especially so you can profit off summer missing. He's still working, y'all got money, pay child support, fix teeth. Worry about summer first, though. Shit. But don't try to ever, which I'm sure we won't talk again, but make me misremember or do. And that's the thing, it's like the same thing Andy has done. And like I've told y'all, predators all have the same type of string to them in between, right? Runs. It's a thing with all of them. So that's why everything you hear comes back to Andy, right? Or this or that. These people abusing me from the YouTube thing are using the same tactics because they're predators. Andy uses the same tactics because he's a predator. But their faces are nice, right? Oh, but they're good to me, right? No. And when you try the same tactics on me that Brad and Penny and all these others have used, and Keys and everybody, they've tried the nice sweep, they've tried the threatening, they've tried the scared, they've tried the dramatic pushes to push me into PTSD mode to make me do something all of a sudden that they want me to do. It's all that same thread, and it's easy to see. Don't do that to me. And I'm sure we won't speak again, and that's fine. I don't care, I'm off that hill. And like I told you the other night, when you're all like crying and stuff, and I'm like, girl, don't cry for me. I'm free. I'm free. These kids and I are free. We've gained our freedom. We're good. Worry about you. Get the hell away from there. But even those tears, I bet, weren't real. And watching your face the other night and how you lied to me and tried to con me and manipulate me gives me great doubt on what I seen and heard from your face that first day Summer went missing when you come down that driveway. I was the last person on this earth you should have tried to play those YouTube games with the other night. And hell, honestly, I was your one, like, maybe they didn't do it person. Like, well, if she heard a scream, maybe there's a chance at. And even though I've always been willing to be like, hey, maybe we're wrong on that scream or something, you know? But here you are, you're willing to do that, like, for money. For money. Profit. That's a damn shame. And I don't know what to say to anybody. There are so many mixed pieces here. So many moments. So many years. So many things I've seen and heard. But I know I wake up every day wondering, what if? What could I have done? Did us being out on the property, moving things around, to me being out there putting up, you know, the stuff, like, the lines and hunting down property stakes and all this, did that push up somebody's timeline? What if this? What if that? What if? What if? What if? You know what I don't wake up every day doing? I don't wake up every day wondering about how I can put money first. And I moved back up here just so people couldn't accuse me of that and this and the other and all kinds of things, so I'd have also more control over my own videos. And even though my life is a living hell right now and all the stress and things I don't need, I still worry and I'm still digging hell. And part of what doesn't make sense to me, it's like if you were involved from this fundraiser scam from the get-go, then why wouldn't you have signed that waiver? Or maybe you did, but then were advised against it at a certain point, and that's why there was so much confusion on YouTube about it. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't you have been okay with that to make more? I just don't know. And that merch for summer been up since June. So the whole time was there money coming in from it? I know money's been coming in the whole time I was still living there because I'd see it myself and you'd mention it and all these things. But why this time? Why this? So important all of a sudden for me to be asked to change my story and wink that and told remember it wasn't. Yes, it was. That was definitely the last time I saw Summer and definitely exactly what happened. And so were all the other events I mentioned. And the police were called. We're trying to get a hold of the police calls and the records for the time that Andy had almost caught them, because we did call the cops, and I remember being a point of contention. That's why you often hear me say it takes them 2 hours to get there, because it really did that night. It took the cops like 2 hours to get there to respond to the call we made about like the peeping Tom. But that call did happen, and but we're having issues trying to locate it, the call, the police report, whatever. And I don't really want to cross county lines for it, but people are, so. Either way, there's records, conversations to prove I didn't. From years ago when it was happening actively and otherwise, and the timelines and the dates to show I didn't just pull this piece out of my ass since Summer went missing. It really, it was happening, transpiring. That did happen in those timelines when my daughter was the same age. This is, so anyway. And whether Andy's right or not, whether it was done, I don't know, but he's maintained that, still does, or did anyway, up until a couple weeks ago. And I guess it's whatever, but, I think he told the feds that as well. And the card team unit, the real one, not the fake one, these YouTubers have rolling around. And, and I think he maintained that it was Dawn, and I think he had a second opinion there, but he says Dawn. And then there's other things there. It's like the Utah thing. I know it's like, here's another little girl involved before that happens, and all of a sudden DCS case happens, and we're given a bullshit reason for it too, right? And then before DCS can come, well, there goes Dawn and one of the other kids off to Utah, suddenly, and then the little girl vanishes from the property, which means she's alive and well, don't get me wrong, she's alive and well. But all of a sudden, after being over for weeks and months straight, all of a sudden she's gone, DCS case is opened, and Dawn and the other one leave state. And they come back, and then this happens to Summer, and I don't know, there's so many pieces here, y'all. And like I said, there's still things I'm not willing to say, certain stuff I'm not going to touch on right now. Things that are out there and open because of the hill the other night, talking to Hatter, that I wasn't going to say publicly. But there you go. And but telling me that the feds have you doing this there, but yet they didn't come back and tell you that they already been here 3 days before, and suddenly you're going to pretend like you didn't know nothing about that truck and seen it in person, been around it. Like, are you kidding me? And then don't know where Andy's at, blah, 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 and y'all need this, and y'all need that. You ain't the feds. Have them come ask me. And they were here, they knew. You were just snooping to see what happened with your call. You were snooping because your PIs suck, Chase and Brad suck, Keys sucks, all too lazy to do your own damn research past Google. And you want easy information handed to you. And then you want to make somebody else look guilty. You want to discredit somebody else. You want to sling mud at somebody else like you've done since day one, to make it try to stick anywhere it will besides your own dope dealers, besides your own people, besides this, besides that. I don't know why, and I can't speak to why. Maybe you're afraid you'll get arrested for something you did or didn't do. I don't know. And you're trying to get it to go anywhere. Maybe there is real concern. I thought there was for Summer from that end. But now apparently, like, pennies and teeth and everything else are worth more. It's even worth enough for you to ask me, of all people, to change my story. So it must be a hell of a lot. But I know that in my world, there's no amount of money that can buy a soul. But I guess there's a price for. But mine's not for sale. So. What's this for?
Activate.
Oh. Okay. I'm not doing that with the last one. Let me come in and then I'll see and check the website out first to make sure it's legit before we go putting in my social.
It's the official way.
I don't care what you say right now. I'll come with.
It's not the website. It's the app.
Okay. Alright, I'll come do that in just a second when I come take care. Are you going to eat that or do I need to take you to McDonald's?
It didn't just have tomato and mustard on it. It was lettuce and then it was drenched in mayo.
Okay. I'll take you up here and get you something else. Okay. And, but I'm not selling my soul. And, I guess people missed my story the other night. Even to detriment to myself. And trust me, this whole process has been detrimental to me, my health, unfortunately to everybody around me. It has slowed our process of healing. Taking away time I needed for other things. Costing me financially running around with pennies I don't have to spend right now. And I'm not over trying to make money, nor am I doing so, and I'm still taking care of me and mine. And, nobody free price on earth is gonna, I will lose friends, whatever it takes to do what's right. And this is not a joke. This is your damn daughter it's missing. This is a child that's missing. And she's not mine by any means. Nor am I trying to be like, look at me, I'm a hero. I can give a crap less. But I do care about what criminal stuff's back behind this. I want to know where it links up. I want to know where it stops. I want to know if these people have had something to do with Summer. I want to know where exactly it leads back to with all the weird strings here pulled. And at this point, after the other night, I want to kind of know if maybe one of you all's involved. If somebody knows something after the fact. Because I can't say now. The other day, I would have still maintained, well, Candace is not involved. Now, after that show, Facebook chat the other night, nah. I'm not going to do that. I already did that once with my best friend, eons ago, 2 years ago? I kept discounting myself, and I kept trying to excuse, and I kept trying to say, and that almost got me hurt. And I won't do that again for anybody else, especially not somebody like, no offense, but you. He and I were super tight, and the only thing we have in common is that damn hill and abuse. And I tried over the years, tried. And there's a common thread there between us. And I don't want to hurt any other victims of domestic violence. It's a fact. Because you really are going through it. I heard it even the other night, and it wasn't pretend. While we were FaceTiming, whatever the hell. I heard it. Live in real time, just like I did for years there. Didn't have to be on YouTube to hear the stupid bitches, the cunt, whatever else. Heard it live in real time. I know a narcissist when I see one and meet one. That's the thing about him. Y'all, I've been around murderers and thieves and all kinds of people you can't even imagine through the years. Rapists. Even pedophiles. But Dawn, it's like I told the cops. There's something about Dawn. And I'm pretty good at naming people, and my soul feels them a mile away. And I can tell you what type of they are. But Dawn has always struck me as just some flavor of something I couldn't name, and I still can't put a name to it. And that's a fact. But even in that same breath, it's like, right before we moved completely out of Ben Hill. Still was more comfortable going with him in the dark in a car out to town than I would be Andy. Whatever. Because I know whatever flavor Dawn is entirely different. I know the danger presented to him by Andy, you get what I'm saying? But there's still something there, and I still can't name the flavor for you. So, hi Jesse. Love you. Miss your face. Message me. And we will go out and eat or something if you want, okay? But don't announce where you're working at or anything on here, okay? I don't want these people off YouTube and everywhere else. And I hope you can read my mouth. My hands are too tore up to do sign language today. But don't mention where you're working at or any personal information so they can't get it. And maybe when my hands get better, I can do ASL again. But I know you can read my mouth. So, and hopefully you've got your end. But I love you, and if you want, we'll go out and eat. Okay? But just message me in the inbox. And for everybody, Jesse and I have sat together since they started intermediate in elementary school. And Jesse is hearing impaired. And everybody kind of treated Jesse, whatever. But him and his interpreter picked me. And me and Jesse have been like that for years. And he has the best hugs. And is one of the sweetest people you could ever know or meet. And if you ever want to meet the kindest soul on earth, he's your guy. And the locals around here and my garden's friends, they know. So, anyway, Jesse hugs are the best. But, we got to do the little hatch the duck or chick thing together too. But, we sat together for as long as we could until our classes split. But Jesse's my peeps. Anyway. And thanks to him and his interpreter, I learned ASL. So, Anyway. Oh, Jess, I can't see what you're saying. I got my glasses off so other people can't see my screen. I don't know if I want that one, Jesse. But I have some people want to push out planes. Wait until the internet runs with that one. There'll be more fresh babies comments. Oh, Lord. Y'all know how I like them fresh babies. But I don't think that's a job for you, pal. You know, Jess, I like to see me smile too. Doesn't happen an awful lot, but it does happen. Lately, I've been forgetting to smile again because I was learning how after Andy. And, the past few weeks have been a little stressful. So, yeah. But you always make me smile, so there's that, right? But I love you. You holler at me, we'll go out to eat. I'll swing by, visit, something at least, okay? It absolutely is, Jesse. I'll agree with you there. Laughter and smiles even in the darkness. So, you gotta let the light shine, right, Jesse? Anyway, guys, yeah, so, like I said, I'm not changing my story for anybody, because it's fact and it's truth. And, I don't claim to hold all the pieces, and I know better minds than mine are working on it, and I trust them, especially the feds. They do hold all of the pieces that I do. I mean, I've given, and if they have a million more questions and want me to sit in a room for a million more days, I'll answer, I'll tell, I'll do whatever the hell is needed of me to help find Summer. So, because of this tonight, I'm going to be asked a million times, why didn't you tell us to cop? I have, man. And it'll be, why didn't you tell us sooner? Well, because, it's our job to tell cops first and leave things alone. It's not our job to run it and tell YouTube or Facebook or whoever else first. If we don't, then we must be lying or bullshitting or whatever. Ain't none of your business. Until when people act stupid and put this stuff out online and make people have to defend themselves. And so there's proof out here that this is going on and occurring, so I just don't come out with it at once and I sound Fruit Loops. At least there's a discussion every, few days. And it's okay, here's the timeline. Here's what's happening now. Here's what's happening now. Because these videos, make no mistake, are, the trail, very much so, between all of these things. So there's timelines and dates and activities in between. And a record of. And I'm well aware, just like I've been from day one. I mean, I'm sure cops watch these things, and that's fine, and I'm sure they gather body language and eye movements and all kinds of things off of them and make sure by stories, whatever, and, motives, and that's fine with me because I have none. I definitely did want attention brought to domestic violence, obviously, but that was happening on my Facebook prior to all this stuff with YouTube and things. And other people are swinging left and right, going, oh, but, I doubt her domestic violence. Look, everybody in this town, some of whom can vouch for me here, have seen it in person and heard it. My posts have been many over all of my profiles for years. It's not a hidden secret. And I've spoken about it on my Facebook prior to all this. I don't know what to tell you. But, and so they're like, well, a real domestic violence victim wouldn't be out in the open, wouldn't show their face. And, well, why the hell not? I can understand some, but hell, Andy knows where I'm at. It's another box he put me in there, flying monkeys he's made that he knows run and tell him. And he can run up the store like he does every few days and ask him, well, this, well, that, well, blah, blah, blah. But see, the cops don't know that. The feds don't know it. Nobody cares. Because when I told him done was done with him, nobody believes me. And he's going to stand there, he's going to act like the victim. And poor Jodisue's the one being mean to him on Facebook or smearing him or doing whatever. No, I'm not. I'm just outing him in that mask like I have in person for years when he's out here trying to pull pee and everything else from all these cashiers and dope tastics and whatever else with the same song and dance he's done for years. Jodisue's the bad guy and I'm the good guy. Look at poor country boy me. No, no, no. Jodisue's never been quiet. I'm not going to cower and do the chihuahua for that either. I'll show my face and speak my story all I want. And if I can do so in the name of other people and domestic violence victims, so be it. So, there you go. I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to hide. For the comfort and well-being and everybody else, they can do this and pretend some more of this crap is all behind closed doors and be comfortable at night when they sleep and want to pretend that a 1-800 hotline helps real domestic violence victims escape the thing, because it doesn't. Tried for years. These things are useless. Beyond useless. And they too siphoned money for one person to sit at the phone and answer it and give you more useless numbers that go nowhere. Or the shelters will only keep you for a few days, or won't take your kids because one of them's male. Or the system lowers any help you can have to levels you can't even survive on with your children once you do escape. So there's really no helping you're trapped with your damn abuser. You know, like, the whole system's is set up against domestic violence victims. But yeah, go ahead and keep handing them those 1-800 numbers. And y'all keep telling them they shouldn't have their faces in public or speak publicly because, well, man, if you cared about it, like, whatever. Either way, you know, and the thing is, even that racket's all meant for the court, right? Because these shelters only keep you long enough to, what? Make a police call. Get you an order of protection. Do DCS. That way you worry as a mother, my kid's going to be taken. Is this going to happen? Because here we were, like, in the middle of this situation. Why am I the one being punished? So these moms don't speak out. They don't run. They stay. Because the one thing that matters the most to them are their children. But they keep you long enough just to get wrapped up in court. More money for the system, but not help for the victims. And then what happens to you? Same thing that happened to me down here in Hawkins. My order of protection and my daughter's was made a joke. Even denied temporary child support. And then meanwhile, they know, even at court, that he's running around with advanced tax credit he can't legally have and is supposed to be at home with the children. That he can't even legally claim by the IRS next year because he's not taking care of them. Here he is spending it with the new one. Does anybody do anything about that? Nope. So not only is he keeping money and not paying for his kids, he's taking money from them. Anybody care about that? Nope. Here I am. I'm the one taking care of them like I always have. You know, struggle busing. But you know what I ain't doing? Not only am I worrying about my own children, I'm worried about Summer. I give a shit also about this criminal ring who obviously has their hands in other missing children's investigations too. That isn't right. Other families and victims have been harmed by these same YouTube people and will if it continues. And if laws aren't made to shut these people down and keep them from ever doing this to more victims and families again. And who knows at this point if Summer's case hasn't been so messed up by them that it may cost her. If it hasn't already. Yeah, but here's the other hill, more worried about damn teeth and money. Girl, I got one out here in the front that's, shit, I guess it's going to come out and I'm going to do the hillbilly thing. Because I have real kids to worry about. So do you. But you're going to worry about profit. What the hell? At least mine's from radiation and not dope smoking. I know it's low and petty, but there you go. You know? There you go. That's the damn truth. That's how I feel about it. And all the years come up to me acting like it was some point of pride. Like, I don't know who you talk to in regular conversations. Be like, I tried meth again tonight, but it's got my heart all messed up. And I'm like, how the hell do I respond to this to somebody? Like, anybody in this town knows how much I hate a junkie and a meth head. I can't stomach it. Man, I'm watching my friends die. So many funerals. So many lives lost, kids hurt around here because of that shit. I mean, I got family members that are on, like, bad. And every day I kind of hope they just go on, because the amount of suffering they cost themselves and us is astronomical. The toll. And I know, I wait every day for that call too. Found them in a ditch. They got murdered over. Like, I can't even be near them because of how I can't even stomach looking at them. So for people to come to me and be like, oh, that's the topic. It's funny. It's not cute and funny to me. Like, it's one of the things I hate the most. Especially about living in this area. I mean, every time you stop at the damn gas station, it's 6 people you knew from high school. If you've even got that many classmates left, run up to you, hey man, can I buy a cigarette? Can I have $10? Can you give me a ride? And don't even recognize them, and they're twitching, or you've got Narcan carrying around the car trying to save people. But it's catch and release around here with that type, so I don't know. Either way, I don't know what to say to anybody, but I'm just... And the weird part to me is like, a trail cam. All them days I hadn't checked it, and I was waiting on a card reader, and then y'all find out I got a cam. Almost the same day that people were seen buying that meth pipe at a little store across from KFC, where everybody's been going. It used to be a bookstore, nice one of my favorites, and they turned it into a meth bubble / cigarette / beer store. There's fucking East Tennessee for you, right? And the next day I find the busted bubble at the bottom of my driveway. And then that night I hear gravel crunching below footsteps from your driveway. And I hear the lid of trail cam open and close. And then the next thing on it is Andy leaving for work the next morning. It's the next thing picked up. And then I get that card reader that afternoon. A whole week's worth of shit's going. But it called every search team, every cop, everything else in there that day. But I'm supposed to believe a whole week's worth of shit's gone. And only after, and Donnie had stopped that day, run over like his ass was on fire when he seen us looking where that meth bubble was busted. All of a sudden, like, hey, and then where are your cameras? What the hell's that about? I don't know. So many things. So many things. So, I don't know. But you see, like I told you, one thing I've not done my whole life, and there's not one person on this earth that can ever tell you I was an addict of any kind, because I've never been. I've never been a user, a partaker. Now, back in my youth, anywhere around here, you try everything, right? And especially when I was young, I did, because I want to know what the hell was more important than me when I was also a kid, and my POS own father, drugs were more important there too, right? So I wanted to figure out what was more important than feeding me. Why it was that I went to sleep half the time in flower planters curled up, so the weird drug addicts didn't lay eyes on me, and why it was that my mom was getting beat, and all these horrendous things in my own child. I wanted to figure out what was more important. So in my youth, I was like, well, we'll try this, we'll try that. Never could find something that's more important. Couldn't figure it out, because all that shit sucked. I had more important things to buy, like books and CDs and tangible items and food and hang out with my friends at the mall and skate in and wherever else. I mean, dope wasn't it. Unfortunately for most of my friends and half Northeast Tennessee, that's not the case. But yeah, there's not one person on this earth that could ever tell you I was on drugs or an addict, because I never have been. So, not my thing. So my brain cells are just fine and intact, unlike some people. And I remember just fine. I mean, like anybody, you know. It's like the other day I got woke up with that particular call. And it's hard to think some days, because my body, my system, no thyroid. And so it takes me a little bit to start up like a cold engine, you know, and my speech to even out. That was way before the stop sign. What are we doing now? Okay. And, you know, things like that. So, and some things get lost in translation or mixed up when I first wake up. But, you know, my things have stayed consistent. And I have no reason to lie. I have none. I have nothing to gain. I do have everything to lose. By any, like, you know, it's taking time out of my life. It's taking time out of my kids. It's whatever, you know. For my peace, sanity, I mean. You know. It's been a rough year or two, guys. But, I'm used to it. And I'll keep carrying on. And, but what I won't do is change my story or the facts for anyone, for any reason. Not for any amount of money. Not for any price on earth. So, there you go. And, that's where I'm at. I found all of that appalling the other night. I still don't know exactly why it was done to me, who was in the background with that call, because there definitely was something. Because of the pretend stupid about the truck, and the pretend stupid about where I'm actually at, and not knowing certain things, and trying to make me agree with when she said that about, no, I remember it was me getting out of the shower. No, it wasn't. So who are you saying that for? Right? Who's listening that you don't want to actually know that? Because it's not been an issue with me and you all these months. So who suddenly do you not want to know that truth? And you want me to say that openly so that they can be like, ha ha. Just as like you want me to agree with something I know not to be true. The last time I seen Summer, she was getting out of the shower with Dawn. Fact. So what's worth you lying about and trying to have me lie about now? And then, if you notice, all you're met with was silence. And a look. Because it was like, I'm not agreeing with you on that. Because I know it not to be true. You're not going to get me to do that. So, there we are. I guess we're no longer friends, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. So, whatever. But, those are the pieces. Those are the facts. Like I said, there's still some things there that are only and need to be kept for other reasons. There are things that are also just, if I said them, it's just me slinging mud and being Prayer Garden or Jenna or whoever, and I'm not in it for this either. But I'm sure by the end of the night or tomorrow or 3 days from now, you're going to hear mud slinging by that hill. And I don't care. I don't care what lies they want to make up. Promise you, I ain't the one. There'll be more discrediting of Jodisue. There'll be more, she's guilty, look at this, and target her and her kids that. And it'll be heralded by Squall or Q or this and that and the other. And I don't care. I don't care. And you know, here's the thing for me. There are certain levels of sociopaths, narcopaths, people. Yeah, they can pass polygraphs. those usually include people that can hurt animals and children and the whole lineup, right? Not just one or the other, or not just one that can beat on women. And that has always been a question I've had, and I've asked it of others along the way here. If I could be wrong. Because I just don't know how they pass polygraphs either, if their truth is what they've been given papers and things all along. Or like that panel the other day. I don't know how in the hell they come back with that conclusion, because I knew everything within the first 15 was nothing but a lie. And everybody else this whole time is like, they've been like, well, the age, they've got the kids' ages wrong. Man, they always have. The whole time I've known them. I've watched her sign them kids up wrongly every year because she can't remember the damn ages of the kids. So it ain't just him, it's her too. But how in the hell that panel ever came to the conclusion they came to? He wasn't just a dead-ass liar like, I'll never know. I'll just never know. And I guess I'm not calling it Dr. Phil, but what I am saying is, that's just a little funny to me. I don't know. I feel like so many people are involved in this craziness. And that even up to that level, like, clicks and views are important. TV, you put certain panel analysis off until, and people suddenly get PR reps, and these teams, and then the analysis is, and they come up with an entirely different thing than the rest of us that are standing there that have been the ones to care for their mom, or the ones that know all these things. We're like, what the hell? What the hell? I don't know, guys. All I know is there's a damn facts. The world's crazy and all about profit and clicks, views, audience. I don't know. The rest of us down here on the ground that know these things in real time, in real life, though, we're left going, what the hell? What the hell? Every day. So anyway. And we've just let it be, for the most part. And tried to concentrate everything on summer. Homemade screenshots. It's like homemade cookies, though, Stacy. They're rare these days. Hey, by the way, my cookies are homemade. That's all I'm saying. I'm store-bought, bitch. They're terrible. I have a recipe I'll share. Yeah, one of these days, we'll figure all this out, and I'll start doing, cookie recipes, because my cookie recipes are banging. I love my own cookies. But, what's that out of garden? Store-bought's fine right now. Because I got enough stress, so I am buying the hell out of store-bought. Pro tip, never follow her cheesecake recipe. It's one of the most awful ones in the world, and there's so much easier ways to do it. And y'all, when I used to do catering, people would ask for that, and I'm like, man, please do not ask me to make the out of garden one anymore. I have better ones that are easier to make. Stop that. They're terrible. That woman is the devil. Anyway, so I don't know what else to say tonight, guys. Hell, I may jump back on if I've thought of something I forgot that's important in between, or that needs to be clarified before the rest of the world takes off with it. But what I'd like to see is tomorrow is for everything to be about summer. The interviews coming out, Dr. Phil, whatever, else. I would like to see tomorrow solely concentrated on summer instead of a circus and YouTube and shares, clicks, likes, pushes of cash to people that definitely don't need them, making money off of summer, or trying to change their little reputations or make enough videos throughout today, tonight, and tomorrow to where the whole system's reset and these newcomers to this show after it goes national aren't taken in by these same cons and given money. So, Y'all that are with me, start making the comments and chats under all your accounts. Oh, well, scam, whatever the hell you need to do, even if it gets you blocked. That way it alerts to newcomers. And that these people are not giving likes, clicks, views, subscribers, or cash push to them. Keep it about summer. Keep it about summer tomorrow. That light needs to shine on her. I don't care what I've said here tonight. Forget it tomorrow. Let the light shine on her. Let these people's eyes and ears pick up her picture from the TBI, from the police departments. Let them share it. Hopefully somebody knows something. Hopefully it's enough attention locally, because I promise you, even half locals do not know about summer half the time. Somebody might know something. They might know the driver of that truck that's like a needle in a haystack around here, because there are literally tons of them. They might actually know something. And maybe it's the driver that, they would have been like, oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe they know something. Maybe somebody sees summer somewhere around the country. Because at this point, I don't trust these YouTube people, especially now if Petito people are involved and in my inbox and seem to be the closers that are all connected. I just don't trust anybody. Hell, maybe you're the ones taking off kids to make money, reward money, scam money. I don't know. But where there's that much darkness behind something, there's definitely other crimes. Sex trafficking, drug trafficking. I'd love to know myself. And the thing that definitely went international the other day. Hell, even Interpol was notified. So, keep it about summer. She's somewhere. Summer matters. Summer being found matters. Keep it about summer tomorrow and summer solely. But also shut these YouTubers down. Keep them from profiting off of her. Let the new ones coming in nationally that do not know about summer know that those YouTubers are not to be trusted. That it is a con and a scam they are not to be profiting off of. That there's a whole other story back there. Do not let these newcomers fall for the reset that is hard at play tonight and has been all day today. Let it be about summer. Keep it from going to those YouTubers. Y'all share her picture information. Keep sharing. And make sure the newcomers to this do as well. Summer matters. Getting her picture, her information out there is what matters. Having her found, and whatever predator has done this behind bars, so they can never do this to another little girl or community again, is what matters. And I promise you, I don't care who you are, and I don't care if we know each other. I don't care if you're a stranger to me by the time this is done. When they find you, whoever you are that did this to Summer, I'm going to be right there waiting for them to push a needle into your arm or laughing at you as you're sentenced to whatever it is. She may not be my child, but I care. This was sick. This was wrong. And that day's coming. So, y'all keep it about Summer tomorrow. Keep the light on her. I know this extra drama tonight does not help. I know what's going to happen with it tonight. But y'all help turn the tide. Keep it about Summer tomorrow. All of it. And you let the newcomers know in any way you need to stay the hell away from this particular set of YouTubers. Do not push money to them. Okay? Keep it about Summer. Summer, summer, summer. But I love you guys. Like I said, I may pop on once or twice more depending on what kind of circus clown goes on after this that I need to clarify for somebody before they try to make me into a murderer or complicit or whatever it is they want to do now to discredit me, okay? So anyway, I'm sure there'll be 900 SWAT calls that terrorize me and my children, some more bullshit that happens, all because we're trying to do the right thing here. Like I said, not afraid to do the right thing, even my own detriment. So, anyway, love you guys. Let the light shine. Summer, summer, summer.